Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ plus streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Monday, June 16th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present Pride Fest in August, and we declare that love is in the air with Pride Fort Lauderdale on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows all support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and the broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table right here and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host a show to support our diverse family. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the world-famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee. Edward, 30 Days of Life Dazzling Divas to light up Fort Lauderdale stage on June 21st. Tell me what's happening out.
A spectacular tribute to music's greatest voices will take center stage on Saturday, June 21st at the Parker in Fort Lauderdale. Beginning at 8 p.m., Dazzling Divas will honor icons like Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, Lady Gaga, Chappell Roan, and more in a high-energy concert packed with show-stopping performances and unexpected surprises. Produced by the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, the event will blend powerhouse vocals, glamour, and diverse musical styles to celebrate generations of divas who shaped the sound of pop and soul. Fans can enter a raffle for a once-in-a-lifetime $30,000 trip to Machu Picchu and Peru, sponsored by the Happening Out Travel Club. Don't miss this opportunity to win a dream trip of a lifetime while supporting GMCSF. Attendees are invited to dress as their favorite diva or showcase their own glamorous flair. Tickets and event details are available at Ticketmaster. Hotspots Happening Out, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ plus community. So stay tuned. I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors that have made this fantastic. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood has been a big champion of LGBTQ plus. Our community just couldn't do without them. The Westin Fort Lauderdale Beach Resort. We've got the Bears of South Florida.
Love the Bears.
They are just absolutely energetic, and they're such a great partner to work with. Also, out South Florida, AIDS Healthcare Foundation and Allegro in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be a fantastic night.
I can't wait. And it's already here. I can't believe it. So this Saturday, right?
It's this
and then
Saturday.
You're also pulling the winner for the Machu Picchu trip as well,
Yes.
right? This Saturday.
It's going to hopefully happen that on stage, probably, before the show starts, we'll have it.
God. Well, I'm excited for this, and I've been excited about it since Edward mentioned it to us, right? But I love that, all the ladies that are being spotlighted are icons, are divas that we all love, right? But then I love how he threw in the queer aspect and said, we're also going to do a Chapel Rowan, that's where you had me. I was like, yeah, you had me at Chapel.
A lot of these women resonate so well with the LGBTQ plus community. We've looked at them as like our heroes and stuff. And this is just our way of, giving, saluting them back. So we just look forward to everybody seeing it this Saturday.
And it's going to be at the Parker?
It's going to be at the Parker, 8
Oh my
p.m.
God, I love that space too. There isn't a bad seat at the Parker. It doesn't matter. It's like a half moon kind of deal, and you just could see from wherever you're sitting. So get your tickets today. You also get a chance to buy a couple raffle tickets, and you might be on that Machu Picchu trip in Peru. That's worth $30,000. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You could take me with you, and I'll be your Spanish translator.
Yeah, I would love it. Right.
¿Qué quieren comer? Vamos. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Dazzling Divas on June 21st. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome my little brother from another mother, but he's not my little brother, but he's still my brother. You know who he is. He's Jamaal Starks. Yes, Jamaal is the president of Impulse Group Miami and walks as a sex siren in the ballroom scene with the House of Gorgeous Gucci. He's also a board member of the Legacy Builders Consultant Group and is a certified yoga instructor at the Miami Life Center in Wynwood. And on his spare time, which is never, he sits in bed with me on the FayWhat show, and I couldn't be happier. Jamaal, 30 Days of Pride, Legacy Builders to host powerful Juneteenth Pride celebration on June 19th, and you are the mindfulness program instructor. Tell me what's happening out.
I am. On Thursday, June 19th, the Legacy Builders will present our third annual Juneteenth Pride celebration at the Center for the Arts in Hollywood, Florida. We themed it a manifesto reclamation of resilience and remembering our legacy. The event will celebrate Black queer identity, history, and pride through an immersive evening of community, culture, and healing. The evening will begin with a health hub from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., offering wellness resources and support. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., guests will enjoy a cocktail hour with light bites, a Juneteenth marketplace, a Black Wall Street showcase, and a silent auction that we named Silent Action. The main celebration will take place from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., featuring a live entertainment, a legacy talk powered by Charm, recognition of legacy honorees, and a mindfulness closing led by me, of course. For more details, contact Latanya Hobson at buildersoflegacy.org. Hotspots happening out, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ community. So stay tuned. Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that this is around again. The last year we did it at the Manor, and also we did the first Juneteenth Pride celebration at the Miami Beach Botanical Garden.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was so gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And we are continuing our tradition of honoring unsung heroes and voices in the Black community here in South Florida.
Oh, I love it. And I love the name that you put it. The theme is like so capturing, right? The manifesto of reclamation, resilience, and remembering our legacy. Bam!
Yes.
You know, like if you're watching the show, you need to be going to a Juneteenth event. Okay, you should at least go to 2, to be completely honest. You know, if you can get your butt to 3 or 4, you should make it out there. And this is one of the events that's going to be super, like, just exciting and good and just exactly where we need to be this month for Juneteenth.
And to add to the folks out there, Impulse, as I am the president of Impulse, is offering a ticket giveaway. Lady Gaga and Beyonce.
What?
Ah.
Yes. So we did it at Back to Black. We've done it at Stonewall Pride, at our last, and Queer Fest. So this time we'll be at, if you get tested or if you are in care and you go to the AHF vehicle, mobile unit that we'll have outside of the Arts Theater, you can enter to win a pair of tickets. And I got some good seats, okay? I'll look for some good seats on them Beyonce tickets. It's July 10th, and they were not cheap. Okay, I got y'all some good tickets, so come out and get tested, and follow also Impulse Group Miami on Instagram, and we're going to announce it through there, and also our new podcast that's coming out.
Oh my God, but how awesome. You're also outreach. You're also getting people tested. You're making sure that people know their status, and that's so important. Get your status and you might go to see Beyonce.
Yes. And also, more importantly, if you're in care, because I think a lot of when we do these ticket giveaways and things of that nature, and we say get tested, we overlook the people that are already in care. So, so if you are in care as well, if you visit the mobile unit, you'll be able to enter the raffle.
I love that. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Legacy Builders Juneteenth Pride celebration on June 19th. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Jason Nunez. Jason Nunez is the trailblazing leader, passionate entrepreneur, and fierce advocate for equality. He is president and CEO of the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce, and as a third-generation minority Air Force veteran, he has served at the Pentagon, White House, State Department, and Department of Labor. Jason, GFLGLCC is launching a LGBTQ community calendar. Oh, I can't wait to talk about this. Tell me what's happening out.
So, Go Digital Hero, a certified LGBT business enterprise, in collaboration with the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce, is launching the LGBTQ SoFlo Community Calendar, a free, user-friendly digital hub aimed at uniting South Florida's LGBTQ and allied communities. Set to go live at lgbtqevents.info, the calendar will help organizers plan smarter, avoid scheduling conflicts, and boost event visibility and attendance. The platform will showcase everything from pride parades and advocacy days with groups like Equality Florida and SAVE, to support circles at the Pride Center at Equality Park, and concerts and performances from groups like the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. Users will be able to save events to their personal devices, share happenings on social media, and receive real-time updates. A mobile app is also in the works for on-the-go access. This initiative is powered by Go Digital Hero, and we are inviting sponsors, moderators, and volunteers to join via admin at lgbtqevents.info. Once launched, the calendar will become the go-to source for celebrating, organizing, and strengthening LGBTQ life in South Florida. So, I've heard, since I've been in the community down here in South Florida, that we need this master calendar. There's so many events, which is great because that means our community is very active.
Right.
But let's not overlap and let's everybody enjoy everybody's events.
Yeah.
And when you have 3, 4, 5 competing events, Faye, I could only imagine how you have costume changes in your car to go from one event to the next, and I can't be seen with the same clothes. I mean, it's just it's not fair to anybody in our community, but also let's amplify each other individually or as much as we can, and let's spread it out. If we can do 365 days of events versus a less days a year event, but conflicting, let's do it.
This is made for me. I mean, thank you for calling me out on it, but it really is. Like, there are so many times that I'll have 3 events to go to and I missed one, and it'll be someone that I love and adore and someone that I really wanted to go help and support. And because it just landed on that day, you know, like people just check, okay, what day is the task force gala? And nobody checks anything else. You know what I mean? And we're going between West Palm, Broward, Miami, you know, and it gets tough. And you want to go and see the Gay Men's Chorus at Dazzling Divas. You know, you want to be there, but then something else is on that calendar as well. May I ask you, Jason, how come something like this hasn't been done before? To this degree? To this degree,
I think it's more of the time, the bandwidth of certain organizations. We're all moving at 100 miles an hour. And community organizers, all of us here at the table who organize events, we know we're just looking for the next event, and we just want to make sure ours lands on the calendar. I think the chamber is a great spot to have it housed, and have it come forward. One of our chamber members, Go Digital Hero, is a virtual assistant company. So they have the team, they have the bandwidth, they have the technology to put this together. And then they also have the connectivity through the chamber members to be able to get these events on the calendar, or if not, reach out to the right persons, legacy builders, Gay Men's Chorus.
And this is just so important for organizations like mine,
Right.
because, we're always planning ahead in terms of our events and things. And so we're always mindful about other organizations, especially in the LGBTQ plus arts, like making sure that we're not conflicting with other dates, as well as we have a lot of wonderful nonprofits in LGBTQ world that do fundraising too.
Right.
So, we want to make sure that, we're spacing each other out and that we're giving each other, ample time to showcase, our organization. So hats off to you guys, because we've desperately needed this organization from a level where, it could be done fairly.
Yes.
Right.
So that's
And
fantastic.
smartly and accessible,
Right.
and to be able to have that app in the future is going to be groundbreaking.
And I also want to point out, this is important for the audience members, but I want to add to your comment there, it is equally important for all of the small startups and all the small organizations that are struggling on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour basis. Please get involved and put all your information on this calendar, because we know that it's about fundraising for so many of you. And if there's 17 events in 1 week, people are going to, in this day and age where money is tight, nobody knows what the hell's going on with the economy, people pick and choose because they have to make that decision.
Right.
If every organization pays attention to this calendar, you don't have as many people overlapping, and you give each other the respect to make a few dollars to keep yourself open.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And one last thing, Jason, it is free,
It is free.
and it will be free to put my event on the page as well.
Free to put your event on the page as long as you're a community organizer. So we don't want just anybody throwing events
Right.
on there.
Of
You have
course.
to be an actual organizational entity to be able to be a moderator.
And someone wants to be a moderator, they email admin at,
LGBTQevents.info.
there you go. Well, Queer News Tonight invites you to check out the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce for additional details about the upcoming community calendar. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Buddy Frey. He's back, baby. He supports many of South Florida's local nonprofit organizations like Julian's Fountain of Youth and the Stonewall National Library and Museum. Buddy, Pride Skate, one of your favorite things to do on quads, right? Yeah. Pride Skate Night to roll out on July 8th in Fort Lauderdale. Tell us what's happening out.
Look, on Tuesday, July 8th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., Pride Skate Night will return to the Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale. Hosted every second Tuesday by Hotspots and happening out, this vibrant LGBTQ fundraising event will feature music by T-Pro Mix and live performances by divas Velvet Lenore and Rihanna Patron. Guests can enjoy roller skating, dancing, and a full liquor bar. Tickets start at $15. A VIP experience is also available too. For more details, visit extremeactionpark.com. Look, I grew up in the 70s. This is, I can remember going to the skating parks, and I just aged myself. I don't give a damn, but, it's fun. And, if you can have a little fun and have a little nostalgia at the same time and get a free show from the ladies, why not?
And it's nostalgic. Like you said, it's something that brings you back to your youth. You can't be serious
Right.
on wheels.
Right.
Yeah. No way.
You know what I mean? So when I go over to Extreme, I put a little cape on because I'm enjoying my time there. You know what I mean? I put a cape and I just, go around the railings, and then I hold on to my nearest gay boy and I, make sure he doesn't fall. It's a time to be had,
I have this soundtrack that goes in my head,
Right.
like
Saturday
around
Night
like the
Fever.
music and stuff that was happening. Like I remember Another One Bites the Dust.
Yep.
And I literally would fall on the floor because, like it was like, yeah,
Another
pretty
One
much
Bit the
that's
Dust.
it.
Ah,
Yes,
there's Edward on
bye.
the floor.
But yeah, this is like camaraderie, and you know what? For people that miss that type of, activity, it's good. I don't know if I would master something like they do nowadays, where all the wheels are on like one row type of thing. But I think I need 4 wheels, like a training
You
wheel.
mean
for
rollerblades?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Edward, I love you.
I know nothing
He's like,
about
those
sports.
new things where they're
Yeah.
all in one row.
They're the old-fashioned skates. Don't worry.
Jamal, do you skate?
I do skate.
You weigh nothing, so you probably just float when you're skating.
But I don't like skating anymore.
Okay.
I used to like it when I was younger because my quads were much stronger. But as the age, the knees and the ankles are not as sturdy.
Oh, that's true.
They don't push off like they used to.
And you don't fall the same way.
You don't fall
right? Am I wrong? Right? Like when you get older, all of a sudden, like I used to be able to fall and nothing happens.
The
Now I fall
You
and
just
like
fall a little harder.
and
like in the wrong places.
yes.
It's never the funny bone. It's never as funny as they think it is.
It really isn't. And I don't have a butt. So like I fall on my ass and it hurts. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then Velvet has to like, skate by around me, spin around and then help me up. And it's embarrassing, but it's a lot of fun. So Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Pride Skate Night on July 8th. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is legendary events host, a television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspot's Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, 30 Days of Pride. Bebecita's pool party to make a splash at Wynwood Pride, June 22nd. Tell me, what's happening out?
On Sunday, June 22nd, Miami's Arlo Wynwood will come alive with Bebecita's queer and sweet pool party. Part of the Wynwood Pride celebrations, the 21 and over event promises a vibrant afternoon of dancing, splashing, and unapologetic queer joy from 4 to 9 p.m. with doors opening at 3:55 on the dot. All right, so guests are encouraged to arrive by 3:30 to snag the best cabana spots available on a first-come, first-served basis, of course. Tickets will start at $25.31. Yes, $25.31. Have that penny. No change back, all right? With VIP options also an offer. Hosted by She Life Events, the pool party will blend high-energy music, sun-soaked vibes, and inclusive fun. For ticket details and updates, attendees can follow She Life Events on Instagram. And Hotspot's Happening Out and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ plus community, so stay tuned. Hotspot's Happening Out and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ plus community, so stay tuned. I'm so excited. Hot girls in a pool in bikinis in the afternoon in Wynwood. What? You had me at hot girls in bikinis.
And wet.
Oh yeah, and wet. And wet. I love She Life Events. Hi girls. They're these gorgeous girls that throw these parties and are doing it big. It's not easy to be a girl group and be in this, plethora of gay boys everywhere doing these events, but these girls are doing it and they're doing it big. They're doing it up here. They're doing it down there. And it's Pride Month, right? So the girls need places to go too. So how fun is this? 4 to 9 p.m. out in the sun, in the middle of Wynwood. You're cool. You're hot. I'm all about it.
I'm just happy to finally see some lesbians getting together. Please, you guys are...
We do get together. We just don't let you see it.
I know.
You're not invited.
No, I'm not invited.
You're just not invited. But it's a whole lot of fun,
No, it's good PR to see that because, when you think of pool parties here in South Florida, it's predominantly men.
Yes.
And so there's such a great thing to have, where it's targeted towards women and they can just enjoy being themselves amongst other women or people that appreciate women, because we don't want to leave anybody out.
No, of course not.
But no, it's wonderful. So, that we're having this representation here too.
Representation matters.
Yes. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Bebecita's pool party on June 22nd. That is the big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
First this evening, we queer up breaking news. Tel Aviv gay bar destroyed overnight by Iran ballistic missile attack. At 4 a.m. local time, Queer News Tonight anchor Al Ferguson began to report on a major ballistic missile attack on central Tel Aviv. Sirens screamed as every phone in Israel sounded the Category 1 alarm for a missile attack. In minutes, Iron Dome, the anti-rocket defense system, launched. Hotspot's Happening Out's Vice President Al Ferguson was in Tel Aviv covering the return of Tel Aviv Pride. It was canceled on Friday because of the Iranian nuclear sites attack. His hotel has had 12 missile warnings with hundreds of missiles launched at Tel Aviv and across Israel. The 4 a.m. attack today was the largest and the most dangerous. Ferguson reported from central Tel Aviv that you see incoming missiles. At one point, he says, quote, "A major explosion was just heard," end quote. The flash was greater and closer than he knew at that moment. The ballistic missile hit just 4 blocks from his hotel, across from Tel Aviv Pride, and had major damage. One of the casualties was the gay bar called MASH Central. On social media, they market the bar, Monday night drag shows, and other LGBTQ events as TLV's last gay bar standing. As you can see, the slogan is no longer true as the bar was destroyed. The bar owned by Giora was visited by Al Ferguson early this morning. MASH Central was on Allenby Square and had a ballistic missile hit a large apartment building that caused widespread destruction. 7 other buildings on the square had major damage as thousands of windows were blown out and many stores, shops, and restaurants were also destroyed or heavily damaged.
Well, it's Al Ferguson from Queer News Tonight, and I'm standing in the heart of Tel Aviv at this moment in Allenby Square. I'm approximately 4 blocks from the hotel I'm staying at for Tel Aviv Pride. And I want to show you what happened, if you have not seen my video last night of the ballistic missile attack. Here's one of the results, just 4 blocks from my hotel. This is standing in the middle of the square, block after block, as you see, all the way down to the Mediterranean, which is 2 blocks. All of the windows have been blown out of the buildings from here to the Mediterranean. And you can see here in the square the results. A ballistic missile, at least one, believed to be approximately 32 feet long, has landed here and has been a direct hit on this apartment building that you can see here in the square. They're cleaning the collapse of road and debris here in front of us in the square. You can see extensive damage on many of the buildings around this building in Allenby. Last night at approximately 4 a.m., the alarm siren began. In about 3 minutes, Iron Dome began to launch, and the video that I shared last night, early this morning for us here in Tel Aviv, I posted showing Iron Dome engaging, and you could see Iranian ballistic missiles coming into the capital, landing right in the heart of Tel Aviv. Since the attack from Iran on Friday morning that caused the cancellation of Tel Aviv Pride, this is the first time that we have seen damage right in the heart of Tel Aviv. Over my shoulder, if you can see down this street, you can see the water. That is the Mediterranean. Where this street ends, empties into Tel Aviv Pride's site, footprint that was going to be where Tel Aviv Pride parade was, 2 blocks behind me, and the festival site right behind that on the beach. What happens here in Israel is every mobile phone in Israel, whether you're Israeli or visitor, etc., goes off by the Israeli Defense Force, and they send an alarm saying that they've detected incoming missiles, and you have approximately 7 to 10 minutes to get to shelter. Last night, the sirens rang even faster than the general mobile telephone alert, and we had no time to get to shelter, and that's why you were able to see the images that we showed. Then we showed you the missiles coming in, Iron Dome defending the city. At breakfast this morning, there was resignation that this is continuing, and we don't currently know what the outcome of this is. The U.S. Embassy, we understand, I have not been able to confirm this yet, the U.S. Embassy is another 2 blocks. I'm on my way to the U.S. Embassy now. I have heard that the U.S. Embassy has been hit. I will verify that accuracy, but we have been told that it has. I am carrying my U.S. passport with me now to go to the U.S. Embassy to see what kind of recommendation arrangements the U.S. Embassy is saying for American citizens to be able to get out. We currently are locked here in Tel Aviv. the city and the state of Israel in a state of emergency. We are not able to get out of Israel. There are no planes flying. So this is Alibi Square. It is the first proof since I've been here that Iron Dome is not foolproof. You can see the damage results over my shoulder. But in every way, I continue to see that the Israelis are united and determined in this state of emergency. I'll continue to keep you updated. Al Ferguson from Queer News Tonight.
The square was just 4 blocks from Ferguson's hotel. Here's his reporting on the destruction of the gay bar.
It's Al Ferguson with Queer News Tonight. I'm standing in Alibi Square. How sad is the conclusion of the canceled Tel Aviv Pride on the overnight attack from Iran in central Tel Aviv. And I thought I would show you some images directly reflecting the LGBTQ community here in Tel Aviv.
Mash Central Gay Bar, was eerie as the Tel Aviv Pride rainbow decorations were still hanging in the windows, as the bar was destroyed. Later, Ferguson visited the LGBTQ Center in Tel Aviv, that is only blocks away from Mash Central Gay Bar, to discuss the emotional toll of the ongoing attacks on the LGBTQ plus community. Al will file a separate story on that visit and interview. Currently, all airports are closed in Israel as the country is in a state of emergency. Most businesses are closed and everyone must stay close to emergency shelters. Al is stranded and not currently able to get out of Israel. Today, he visited the U.S. Embassy only to find it is completely closed with no U.S. personnel present. Israel security, who are monitoring the safety of the building, advised him to send an email to the U.S. Embassy for instructions. The U.S. Embassy was hit by shrapnel from the Alibi Square missile. Ferguson told Queer News Tonight, quote, "This is the scariest event I have ever witnessed. The fear in the LGBTQ community is real here. Nerves are being shattered while waiting for the next phone missile alarm going off across Israel. Today's ballistic missile damage shows that the defense of Tel Aviv is not 100%, but the resilience of the Israelis and the LGBTQ community to this crisis is really inspirational," end quote. This story is very fluid, and Queer News Tonight will continue with Al Ferguson in live reports from Tel Aviv. We are expecting Al's safe return, and we will keep you updated on this story. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up politics. Musk Faustian deal with Trump backfires, echoing dark lessons from history. German folklore gives us the cautionary tale of Faust, a man who traded his soul to the devil for power and pleasure, only to lose far more than he gained. Today, many political watchers believe Elon Musk has become a modern-day Faust, and Donald Trump his Mephistopheles. Musk, the billionaire, anti-LGBTQ tech mogul behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter, pumped nearly $288 million into Trump's 2024 campaign. In return, Trump handed Musk a high-profile government role and promised continued support for his lucrative federal contracts. But like the devil in the old story, Trump eventually turned on Musk. Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill threatens to kill the federal electric vehicle tax credits, directly hurting Tesla. Musk resigned from his government post and, in fury, took to Twitter, alleging that Trump is named in the sealed Jeffrey Epstein files. No evidence was provided, but the fallout was swift. Musk's popularity tanked. His wealth dropped. Bill Gates accused him of harming the world's poorest. His apology to Trump may mend personal ties, but not public trust. History offers warnings. German industrialist, Fritz Thyssen once funded Hitler, only to end up imprisoned by the regime he helped empower. Like Thyssen, Musk may find that dealing with devils always comes at a cost, one that history never forgets. You know, Elon Musk, he bet the house on a man who doesn't pay for hotels or loyalty. So, honey, if you're going to sell your soul to Trump, at least make sure it comes with a return policy. Because now Musk is broke, bruised, and bitching on Twitter like it's Yelp. A reminder to all, you can't out-devil the devil. Read a history book, Elon, or at least Grimm's fairy tale. Read something, because this is just, I mean, I know that we're enjoying it also, but it's like, come on, you know.
Well, I see both of them as the devil and both of them as immature children. It's kind of like, you know, when two children in a sandbox, that's not mine.
Yes.
You know, and then you have a temper tantrum and you run to your ex and you run to your ex and, well, by the way, you know, he's also in the Epstein file. You know, it's just, it's horrible because both of these men have enormous, lengthy finances at their whim. They also have power at their whim. And the only people that are hurt by all of their temper tantrums is everyone. Is everyone. And that's the sad part about both of them. Like, none of this is cute to me.
Yeah, and they do it in public, and it just goes to show the rest of the world, this is what American businessmen do. This is what American politicians do at the highest office. And it's an embarrassment for us as a country.
Yeah, 100%. Buddy, what do you think, baby?
Well, it's, you know, Faye likes to talk to me because I have such a soft opinion.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But this is truly heartbreaking and disappointing on so many different levels, because it's not just the United States that's being damaged. Our brand is being damaged, our reputation is being damaged, our finances are being damaged, and it's all self-imposed. But it's also the world is being damaged because we have offered so much support and help to so many other groups, and now we can't do that anymore. And at the same time, it's also been a blessing because the rest of the country has learned that they can rely on each other instead. You know, so it's, you know, everyone makes fun of it. Yes, they deserve each other. Yes, they're both evil people. Yes, they're very selfish and narcissistic. Unfortunately, they're very wealthy and they're making more money off of all this fighting. I mean, Donald Trump just announced he's made another $600 million on selling bullshit crap.
What is he selling, Jamal? What is
Cell phones.
He's
Cell
doing
phones.
cell
His
phones
new
now.
mobile, the Trump
Nice.
mobile phone,
Nice.
and next to the damn sneakers, them crappy ass sneakers. That
You know, and
And the Bible, don't forget, because he was
the
selling the Bible.
and
too.
the watch
Lord.
that had a rump instead of a T for Trump. But, you know, and unfortunately Musk is making money too because his companies are still surviving. They're not doing well, but they're still, you know, it's very disappointing. And I'm, you know, I was wanting to be at the No Kings event. I was wanting to be at Pride. We have to quit accepting this and quit accepting this failure for ourselves and quit accepting the hysteria and the comedy of this, because this isn't funny.
It is.
Well, here we go back to, I said this back in November and October. Did I not? That y'all needed to take y'all ass out and vote? Did I not say
You did.
that this was
Yes,
going to
you did.
happen? Did I not sit up here and say that? Did I not go out and register 300 people to vote? And here we go, and now we have buyer's remorse. Now the country has buyer's remorse. Now we want to protest, and now we want to throw our little temper tantrum, as Mr. Elon Musk did, because this wasn't expected, as if we were not informed.
But it's still heartbreaking, though, Jamal. We're all on social media, right? And I see my Latinos there, right, that voted for him. And, like, these Venezuelan ladies, these older ladies, they're like, we trusted you, Trump. What happened? You know, and it's like, it's heartbreaking because they really, you give them a lie detector. They really believe this asshole. Do you
But
understand?
it's-
Like, and they voted with that in mind, thinking that them and their future families would have a home.
But
and they were so wrong.
Yeah.
But the failure is not just in Donald and Elon. The failure is in the representation of Congress and Senate. The failure is in the representation of the Supreme Court. You know, the failure is beyond just Donald and Elon, because if we had the support of the Republicans not kowtowing and bending to the kings that they've created, we wouldn't be in this problem, because we would have a balance of the cycle as it's supposed to work. And we don't have that balance right now. So that's, I mean, it's more so on the locals and the state representation as well, and the government in the state of Florida or Texas or wherever. we have to support from the bottom up, not just at the top.
And then we go back. Let me replay my words again from 2021 when we had Governor DeSantis, and I said that Florida and Texas was the testing ground for exactly what's going on with the election that's coming up in 2024. Baby, if you have not got your spiritualist today, come talk to me because I said this. And a lot of people said this, and a lot of us on the ground with our boots on the ground echoed what was going to happen in 2024 when people did not show up to the polls as they were supposed to. Mm-hmm. People did not show up to the polls for their local election, the midterm elections. People did not show up to the polls in Florida and Texas to get these assholes out of here. We did not show up to the polls. So now we have to sit with the consequences. And to your point, Buddy, now we have to, back to what I said a few years ago, rely on community. Mm-hmm. Now is the time to get our boots on the ground and start relying on community. Take your faith out of the system and start trusting in those around you. Ground your reality. And I ain't gonna say it no more.
No, you're absolutely right.
Preach.
And let me tell you,
Preach.
I just don't subscribe to any of this at all. Because you know what? We've seen this. We had 4 years of this. Oh, yeah. We have seen what he does. He doesn't align himself with anybody. So I don't want to rehash of this. Yeah, he's doing a lot of things and I keep my ear to the ground and stuff, but I've got better work to do in this community than to worry about who is on his side and who is not.
Who's on his naughty list or whatever the hell he's
Who
trying
cares?
Yeah. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up entertainment. JoJo Siwa claps back at Bi-Erasure after Miley Cyrus joke. JoJo Siwa is speaking out after a controversial joke by Miley Cyrus sparked backlash and renewed conversations around the Bi-Erasure in the LGBTQ plus community. The drama began when Cyrus, who is pansexual, made a quip in a Dreamland Pride promo video, saying she was, quote, going back into the closet to find JoJo Siwa and bring her back out, end quote. Siwa, who recently confirmed her relationship with celebrity Big Brother co-star Chris Hughes, was quick to respond. Many fans accused Cyrus, 32, of engaging in bi-erasure, a form of biphobia where a person's bisexuality or pansexuality is invalidated, especially when they're in the opposite sex relationships. Siwa took to Instagram to address the joke, saying, quote, this joke was not what the world or myself needed to hear any day of the week, end quote. She also emphasized that she didn't believe Cyrus was ill-intended. However, the joke was just not very good. Siwa added that she messaged Cyrus lightheartedly and Miley replied, all love, always. Siwa, a longtime fan of Cyrus, said, quote, honestly, the most beautiful thing I've learned in the last 5 years is that love is a gorgeous rainbow. Don't question yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Just love, end quote. This isn't the first case of bi-erasure to make headlines for Pride Month. Billie Eilish was recently targeted after being photographed kissing actor Nate Wolff. The incident reignited harmful assumptions about the LGBTQ plus identity and who gets to be queer enough. Once again, the queer community is reminded love is not limited to who you're seen with, it's who you are. Well, you know, this is a good lesson, I think, for anybody. You know, you just can't judge a book by its cover, you know, and love is love. That's right. But, you know, as I've learned and has evolved, the LGBTQ plus spectrum is very gray. And there's so many different levels. And, you know, you can't just presume that someone's one sexuality or somebody's this. You know, you have to meet them at face value and get to know them. So, you know, when you have celebrities commenting on other people's, you know, relationships, you know, you have to think to yourself, are you using your platform for good? You know, or is this about, you know, promoting something at this point. But, you know, they see the error of their ways. I think they're young enough that they can kind of just skirt and get this over with. So, you know,
I think JoJo's like 21, right? Like she's young, 19, something like that. She's young. But I mean, but Miley Cyrus is like in her 30s, right? Something like that. I mean, again, Miley Cyrus wasn't the only one who said this joke. Everybody has been saying this joke, okay? You know, and it's sort of funny. I mean, and in our community, we make fun of each other, right? That's kind of how we do. And we learn early on to have a thick skin because people outside of our community make fun of us, people inside of our community make fun of us, right? We get a thick skin about it. So, you know, this story gets me because yes, you know, I'm a lesbian. I'm married to a woman, right? I'm in love with my wife. I'm more in love with her every single day. But I dated men. I don't hate men. And it's very hard to explain to men when they go, oh, yeah, don't worry, Faye don't want anything to do with that. I don't take the time to explain because why, right? But by looking at someone you don't know what they are. So you're just saying that she's with Chris Hughes right now and he's making her have a great time.
Right.
She's 10. She's going to have 15 more relationships in the next 2 years.
Right.
And they'll be with anything that she wants because she's pan. Being pan means you like it all. You're open to go out with someone queer, trans, bi, anything it is. So the guy was just the next one up on the list.
I think this
You know?
story really highlights a problem that I always have found in this community, and that's the judgment factor. And the judgment factor, because this community is supposed to stand for liberation. And liberation means it's supposed to stand for do whatever the heck you want to do. Like, child, who cares who you're with? You know, I've been with a trans person. I've been with a drag queen. I've been with, and people are like, "Hey, Jamaal, you dated, girl, get out my business. Mind your business. Like, get out my business." Like, it was a joke. It was a joke. And it's kind of like we're caught up so much in this identity politics when it comes down to who you're seen with, who you top, bottom, verse. Like, there's so many different labels and things when we're supposed to be the representation of the love, the rainbow, which equals liberation, which means go out and live your life and your authentic truth for what it shines for and not what other people perceive it as.
Jamaal, you are preaching today, baby.
But-
You are preaching.
Yeah.
Okay,
Buddy?
so being the old man at the table, I'm going to play in the middle here. It was a bad joke, poorly made, we all chuckled, whatever. Gave them a moment of TV coverage. They made up, apparently, in 15 minutes after the joke was said. But we're making a story out of this. I remember at 15 years old coming out. I remember not having any options. Look at the options we have. We have the whole table to sit at. You can be anything you want on this table as long as it's within 2 consenting adults. That's something to celebrate. So let's be realistic to the people that are coming out or can't, and have them see these stupid ass stories where people are bitching and moaning over a bad joke. You know, I'm not worried about us. We're intelligent people here. But I'm thinking about that 12-year-old, 14-year-old kid who's struggling trying to figure out who the hell they are.
Yeah.
And they see 2 people that are supposed to be celebrities and supposed to have this influence bitching and moaning over something as stupid as who you're kissing today.
And they're trying to go to school and learn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something very simple.
You know, and it's a kiss. It's nothing to be making light of. These kind of stories bother me just because there's a double-edged sword there, and we make fun of that double-edged sword. But I keep thinking of the generations that are coming behind. So I you know, yes, it's cute and funny to a certain degree, but I also remember how it could also be a double-edged sword, because I want kids to be alive.
I think
the
the
next
lesson
generation
here,
alive.
I agree, and I think the lesson here is that we're ever evolving as humans, you know,
Right.
and that the acceptance of that is just, you know, you can be one thing at one point in your life, and then 5 years later you can be something totally different.
We're
And you can
allowed to
still be
learn
a-
and evolve.
Exactly.
And we're allowed to make those mistakes, and we're allowed to learn.
sleep with whoever the hell we want to sleep with.
I mean, a lot of us were straight for a second, right? And then we were like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? And like, nobody's like getting, oh, wait, no, you were straight for that second. You can't be gay. I
But
mean,
that's my point. In this world of reality TV, where every little comment bites, it's important. So to any young person out there, even if you're older in your 50s, still trying to figure out who the hell you are, you know, thinking that you're coming out late in life, talk to people. Don't take this too serious. It's reality TV on a bad platform. You know?
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's deep dive into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jamaal Starks, and let's queer up entertainment. He-Man is hot and wrapped. Nicholas Galitzine confirms. It's official. Nicholas Galitzine has wrapped filming for the upcoming live-action Masters of the Universe movie. And he has given us a buff, shirtless teaser of himself as He-Man. The red, white, and royal blue heartthrob will star as Prince Adam and his alter ego He-Man in this big screen take on the iconic franchise that, let's be real, was many a queer kid's gay awakening, including mine in the 80s, darling. This 80s baby knew. Galitzine, also known for his roles in Handsome Devil and the steamy Mary and George, confirmed the shoot is done with a revealing full body image showing the famous blonde bob and all the right muscles. Galitzine shared, quote, "It's been the role of a lifetime and I put everything into it. There's not much I can show you, but I am so proud of the movie we've made. Thanks to our amazing cast and crew for all of your hard work," end quote. The film, still untitled, co-stars Jared Leto as Skeletor and features A-list ensemble including Camila Mendes, Idris Elba, and Alison Brie. It's slated to hit the U.S. in theaters on June 5th, 2026. Well, that's such a long damn time. I want to see my He-Man. But He-Man was my gay awakening. I was like, child, I have the power, okay? You can't tell me nothing. When I was 6 years old, I was asked, what do you see? And I was like, I see myself with 5 men in a house. Like that, I was going to have 5 husbands. I had no idea what gay was, but one of them was going to look like He-Man. Every day I woke up and looked at He-Man, and I was like, what of my man is going to look like that?
Wow.
Yeah.
How incredible. And they say we choose to be gay. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that always crazy to me, because I remember watching He-Man and saying, man, that is a fine man. And then She-Ra came out and I was like, I'm a lesbian, right? Like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But Nick Gallit, how do you say his last name?
I guess Galitzine.
Galitzine. Like, what a great name, right? I mean, I love it, okay? And the thirst is real, and the power of Grayskull has never looked so damn gay. You know what I mean? Like, it just comes kind of full circle to its gayness, you know? And yes, they tell you a year before so you can thirst for the next year. Remember Wicked? We were thirsting for a while, you know? Jason, you going to watch He-Man?
Oh, absolutely. I already have it recorded. I have that date on my calendar, 5 days before to get ready, 3 days to make sure, 2 to confirm, day before, not sleep, watch it.
Oh, what do you think about Jared Leto as Skeletor? Like, he's so campy and so weird.
It's a very fitting role for him.
It's perfect role for Jared.
You?
Well, yeah, I probably will watch it. It's funny how, like, we, someone like me that identifies with, like, heroes like that. I remember growing up and watching, like, the Super Friends and the, the Superman and Batman and stuff, and, like, even just finding the little instincts of LGBTQ-ness in it. You know what I mean? And it's like you just hold on to it. And I remember, like, they were so important parts of my life. The He-Man, the She-Ra, my siblings grew up with it too. So, yeah, as a queer kid growing up, you really hold on to, like, the littlest things you could find.
Things, yeah. But I mean, that's all we had, you know? And, like, that makes me think of Thundercats, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kitara was my favorite on Thundercats.
But we also had Bert and Ernie.
The original, the OG 2 gay guys, living together in a house, I always thought, also my parents used to watch The Odd Couple back in the day. I'd be like, those 2 guys are together, So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jason Nunez, and let's queer up drag culture. Elon Musk's trans daughter makes drag debut in powerful fundraiser. Vivian Jenna Wilson, the 21-year-old estranged trans daughter of billionaire Elon Musk, has officially made her drag debut, and it's already turning heads across the LGBTQ community. Over the weekend, Wilson performed at Patagonia's Presents Save Her, an environmental drag fundraiser held at the Bellwether in Los Angeles. The show was hosted by renowned drag artist Patagonia, and raised money for immigrant legal defense funds. Wilson took the stage in a fierce, full-length black catsuit and long blonde hair, performing under her drag name, Vivlanius, the same as her social media handle. In a video posted by Out magazine, Wilson is seen waving a trans pride flag and dancing solo to a cheering crowd. The event also featured performers like Sequoia, Vera, Nini Coco, Jacob Osler, Skirt Cocaine, Noxia Datura, and Trudy Detective. Vivian, who recently marked 5 years since coming out as trans, had previously shared her dream of starting drag. Now, she's using that dream to uplift others. And apparently piss off her dad. But again, a story about being who you are and just being authentic and finally making your dreams come true, building that legacy for who you are. Like, kudos to her.
And let's be real. She is just the improvement on his design because he was made to be a... Have you seen Elon Musk? Have you seen how he acts? Queer is up. Like, I have never seen such a zesty bitch in my life than Elon Musk. So it doesn't really take much that he has all these temper tantrums and things because that's a sassy little queen, honey. Well, and he could be right up there with a wig with her. Elon, put a wig on and go dance with your daughter.
No, I don't want Elon in drag, but I do applaud the fact that she has grown up much faster than her father has because in her father's world, it's all about him and the attention and the number of kids he produces and how much money he makes. And, it's all about I'm better than you somehow. Whereas obviously she has a heart because she's raising money for immigrants and the defense funds and the environment, and she's looking at something other than what's in the mirror staring back at her father.
Yeah.
So I applaud her.
And she, she moved from the U.S., right, slowly when Elon got into office or whatever you want to call it, right? She moved. She left the United States. So the point that she's there at an anti-ICE fundraiser when she doesn't even live here, okay? That's the, like Jamaal said, maybe his horribleness and his bad parenting made us this incredible queen that now we have on our side.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget her mother. So I applaud her mother because her mother gave her a lot of those traits.
100%. 100%. And I'll be watching her. And like you said, she's had to grow up fast, okay? She's 21, okay? She came out as trans 5 years ago. This is detrimental time in just any girl's life, right? But you're also transitioning during that time, and you're transitioning in the public eye, and you're a billionaire's most hated daughter.
Yeah.
She's a hero.
She is.
She's a hero. And honestly, keep an eye out for her because she will be one of our future icons. I see it. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Frey, and let's queer up trans rights. Federal court backs trans rights in nude spa case. A controversial case in Washington state has become a flashpoint in the national conversation on trans rights and religious freedom. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit has ruled that Olympus Spa, a women-only Korean spa in Lynwood, must comply with state anti-discrimination laws after denying access to a transgender woman, Haven Wilvich, because she's not completed surgical transition yet. The spa has argued that the policy was based on their Christian beliefs and modesty customs and claimed the enforcement violated their rights to free speech, religious freedom, and freedom of association. But the court disagreed. Judge M. Margaret McCowan wrote, quote, "We are not unmindful of the concerns and beliefs raised by the spa. Indeed, the spa may have other avenues to challenge the enforcement action. But whatever recourse it may have, that relief cannot come from the First Amendment," end quote. The ruling clarified that businesses serve the public are not protected as intimate or expressive associations under the law and must follow anti-discrimination rules, even in nude settings. A dissent from Judge Kenneth Lee called the state's response political and suggested the law unfairly targeted Asian Americans. Olympus Spa is represented by Pacific Justice Institute, a group labeled as anti-LGBTQ hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. they say they plan to appeal. There's just a lot here to unpack. And I haven't been able to do enough research to have a complete position on it yet, because I know. I can understand the claim of discrimination, but I can also see the situation because she's pre-op. It's a confusing moment for everybody, not for the individual, the trans person, but I do think that this will probably be appealed, because I do agree with the judge that this is not a First Amendment situation. So on that basis, the trans person has the right to be in that position. But I do think that it's confusing because of the preoperative situation.
Well, get bigger towels.
I understand
Okay,
that.
I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, to the Olympus Spa, I say you made a mistake. Okay, if you're open to the public, you don't get to close the door on civil rights, baby. So modesty isn't a license to discriminate against anyone. And trans women are women. Period.
I understand.
Get bigger
that.
towels, and then we'll talk.
And
you know
it's
what I
funny
mean?
that they have modesty customs at a nude spa about your body being nude, about a body being nude, because this also crosses into the conversation now of those who have both parts as they were born. Those who are. What do you say to that then? At a nude spa, well, every being and every individual who pays their money is accepted. And also I go further into your Christian beliefs and customs. Like, this really confuses me at a nude spa. Again, your Christian beliefs and customs at a nude spa, right?
Yeah.
Aren't we having a cognitive dissonance right now? Aren't we having an oxymoron right now?
Right.
At a nude spa. Like, there's so many questions that come in with, why are you discriminating against this person? And it has, and also, let's talk about premarital sex. We just pick and choose what the hell that we want to discriminate against when we have Christian narratives. I used to be a Christian, baby. I know all of the things that we can go down the list on to talk about.
Sinning.
We can talk about the modesty of being nude. We can talk about the linens, and we can talk about so many damn things. And this is what you want to die your hill on. This is the hill you want to die on, Olympus Spa.
But let's not muddy the water. This is about specifically what they've claimed as First Amendment rights. And so based on just that fact, we have to.
But they went on their Christian narrative. Clearly, that's what they're basing it on, their Christian principles.
And they're also feeling targeted as Asian Americans, and I don't see the correlation between those two. And that makes me sad that you feel that you're being targeted because of who you are. We don't do that in our community because we're targeted for who we are. You know what I mean?
But that's where the second judge, I think, made the mistake, because he's the one that made that point, not the Korean spa.
Olympus. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is muddy as all hell. You know, it's like the Mississippi. You don't see the bottom on this yet. And no pun intended on that either. But I'm just saying this needs to be really looked into and watched before, we can really be fair about it.
I don't find this muddy at all. I honestly don't see the problem with with any human being going to a nude spa and actually just it's a place of relaxation for human beings to be nude. It's just like I go to the nude beach all the time. There are trans people out there. Nobody's bothered. People even bring their children because and most of them are European because they don't have the same lens as we do when it comes down to nudity. It's just a thing. It's just a body. We all have it. We all have body parts. And as consenting adults, if I work and I pay my money to go into a public space that is nude, then I should be accepted. Period. Point blank.
And it's a women's spa, and I'm a woman.
And maybe there we need to have the education about being a trans woman, because it sounds like it might be
some education is needed.
It sounds like it might be the first time.
That's what it all boils down to.
Right.
It's trans, and for for people that don't experience that or don't have that in their life and their communities, they see it as something, that they don't want it to be a part of.
And I think that's
that's where the discrimination comes in. Because yes, you can walk into any establishment, and as any human being, if I want to be in a spa, if it's an all-women spa, yeah, that's fine. But you have to understand that there's a gray line when it comes now to be identifying as women.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's where this needs to start, is we need to have an education process for the Korean staff, or the Korean owners. Because we know they're not American born and American raised.
Yeah, and it could have not been on their radar. Just like, like I were said, and they just need some education,
Right.
Jason, educate them.
Educate them.
100%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people make mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm like, apologize and keep it moving. Educate your staff and keep it moving. It doesn't have to be a big, you hate us. You don't. You just didn't know, and education is power sometimes, And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ community.
If our rainbow family is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Otto Zielke, Jamaal Starks, Jason Nunez, and Buddy Frey. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We hope that you would join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative and being queer. Good night. Buenas noches.